Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by actor and filmmaker Dustin Clingan and writer Aric Garcia.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah. So first of all, let us know about Abaddon. You've got it right here behind you, the king of the Locusts.
Yes. Yes. You want to start with this, Dustin? Or should I? Go ahead, Dustin.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we started working on this at the end of July of 2021, developing the scripts, and it started out to be like something very small, and then just grew and grew and grew, and it's growing continuously, bigger and bigger every day now. And it's a story that Aric wrote, which we've been trying to collaborate and try to bring it to light to what it is now in the script wise. And now I think we're very happy with where the story is and the direction where we're going and our vision for it. And we're looking to shoot it sometime next year.
Oh, very cool. Can you give us a little bit of detail, Aric, of what it's about?
Okay, well, it's about a cult, a sinister cult. How can I put it? They do their thing. It's still in modern times, but they kind of get stuck in the past a little bit. But it is in here in the United States. It takes place here. I don't really want to say much about it,
of course.
but
I don't want to spoil it. Or
I'm trying to, how can I put it? If you want to compare a movie, what do you think, Dustin? A good movie to compare it with would be what? Maybe The Hills Have Eyes a little bit, I guess.
I think The Hills Have Eyes, and you know how, like, I don't know if you ever seen Midsummer.
Yeah.
Where it had like how the white cult family, like in Sweden or whatever, and the whole family's involved in slaying these people or whatever. Yeah. It's kind of like the cult, that kind of cult people. They're just all in one little town. So that's basically what that part of it would be like. And then compared to like Hills Have Eyes, I kind of like that, I would say.
No, I'm very excited. I like both films a lot, and that's an interesting two films to combine in a way. So you guys have worked together before.
Yes.
So when did that start? Were you guys friends before? Or did you guys get to know each other working on something?
Well, actually, we met Shark House.
Amityville Shark House, yeah.
Yes, we met at Shark House, and I was just there mingling with everybody, Dustin as well. And we met. He said he was, he went to film school. He was directing film, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, I'm a writer. I've been writing. I'm working on this script. And basically from there, our friendship relationship just grew.
I always tell people that it was a festival, right? Or was it a convention? Either one. Like you go there and you have a good time, but it's also a good place to meet other filmmakers or other people to collaborate with, and then and start making stuff together.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
Yeah. And so this is your first feature though together?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
So obviously, besides being longer, what do you foresee the differences between making a short film and a feature?
Well, you mean like as far as like as a film?
I assume it's got to be more preparation.
The pre-production stage is always the longest, and the post-production is probably equal. The filming it doesn't take long at all. So I would say pre-production is just taking the longest time, and we're learning so much from just the pre-production alone. And we haven't gotten further than that just yet. But yeah, I think we're learning a lot. We're creating a lot. We're experiencing many things we never actually experienced before, and working with people that we've never worked before. And it's just a wonderful process, but it is a long one. And we're learning a lot of the business side of it as well.
Yeah. Now I noticed Dustin, you've done a lot of different genres.
Yes.
Would this be your first horror project?
Feature?
Yeah.
Her first horror feature, yes. As far as like short films or anything I've acted in, no, I've done several before. But as far as features go, this is my first big one that I'm actually doing. As far as short films, I've done more like drama and comedy and suspense thrillers. I've never really did a whole big horror film before, so this is going to be really cool for me to do.
Yeah. And how about yourself, Aric? Have you written horror stuff before?
I've written a few stuff, but during my military career, I would do like zombies that were soldiers, or we went to a town in Iraq or Afghanistan and something happened, or a vampire type of thing, but never at this caliber and never in actual script format. So this is actually my first feature film, or that I did. My first feature script that I wrote, my first screenplay.
Yeah. Now, are you both horror movie fans?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, that's good. Yeah. The interview would be over. No. So, what are some horror movies that inspired you to become a filmmaker?
For me, I like classics like Psycho. I like the Jason movies, like the Freddy Cougars. I just really like the creature feature type movies, like what's that one called? There's like the Bigfoot one that came out in the late 70s. You know which one I'm talking about?
But Bigfoot's always fun. So.
Yeah. There's just a lot of old school horror movies I like that really, and some new ones from like the 90s, but there hasn't been anything good since the 90s. Everything's been just repetitive or nothing new, just reboots or continuations that just of movies that just turn out to be not as great as the original ones. So we wanted to create something original and different compared to anything that's been done in like the last 20 years.
You did mention
and fresh.
Midsommar. I mean, that's a new movie that's pretty original.
Yeah. I mean, there are some original movies out there, but we want this one to be different than everything that's been seen out there in the last 20 years. Everything's like a vampire movie or, something that's it's like, oh, just another vampire movie, like The Invitation, We want something to be different. Like Abaddon, yeah, there's probably been 3 or 4 Abaddon movies, but not like this one. This one's totally different. It's unique, it's original, and I guarantee nobody will ever see this one compared to anything else before. I like a lot of the 80s, 90s horror films much better, and I'm a fan of the classics. That's what I grew up watching.
Yeah. How about Aric?
Oh, me definitely. I grew up watching, like all of us, Halloween, Jason, Freddy Krueger. They live like that.
Yeah.
I love that. I even like Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers is good too.
I love that movie. I think it was pretty original. And I just love movies. All in all, I love movies, but horror is probably one of my favorite things by far.
I saw Lisa Langolis is involved, who I have out on the show, and you've worked with her before. So how did that come about? How did you come about, someone you work with?
I've known Lisa since I don't know, probably a good 10 years now. And she's always been wanting to work with me on different projects whenever the right role comes up. So I've already worked with her twice before on a YouTube series and a short film with Aric Roberts. And then she's involved in this one. So yeah, I mean, she's definitely a horror icon from like the 80s. Everybody knows her from the 80s movies like Happy Birthday to Me and things like that. And she just really became interested in this one, and we figured, well, we have a good role for you.
Now, did you know she was involved when you were writing the script, Aric? So I don't know if it's like...
Oh, no. When I was writing the script, actually, nobody was involved.
Right.
And truth be told, I did my military career. I became a business owner. I went to college, and I had one of my employees just asked me, hey, boss, you did this, done that, been everywhere around the world. What are you going to do next? And I'm like, I stood quiet for a quick second. I looked at him and I said, you know what? I go, I'm going to write a script, Leon. And he's like, what? I'm going to write a script. And that's exactly how it happened. And I did it for fun, for like my immediate close friends, something to put on YouTube. Then, of course, I went to go to one of the Shark House. I want to go, do a background or whatever, small role in there, and that's where I met Dustin. Yep. So I made a bigger network, and he just created from there. He believed in my script, and with a lot of tweaks and revisions, blah blah blah, it just grew. And now we have a actual really decent cast right now, and we're not finished with it, but we do got Laura Lee Linklater. You know who she is? Richard Linklater's daughter. We got her on board. We got Alan Howarth, which is
another former guest on the show. That's really interesting because I think people would know him, as a composer.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, he has a small part in there too. Said he personally asked me, right? He asked for.
Yeah, he was there.
At a dinner, we were having a dinner together, and he's like, would you mind giving me a small little part in here, blah, blah, blah. And I said, for sure, I didn't even have to think about it. Yeah. And I quickly did it. It was done in 2-3 days. Had it revised, and he loved it, and so it will have a small little role in there as well.
That's very cool. And so does he also do the music then?
Oh yeah, he's doing the music.
Right, because when I saw him on the cast, I thought, it's interesting. He's in the movie, but I didn't realize he's also doing the music. So
yeah, he's a producer.
He's a creative producer. He's a sound designer and the composer, and he's also the actor. So he's got four different things.
Very cool. And
we have an up and coming. Well, she's already pretty well known, but Chopin, I'll do it, the Marvel actress from Black Panther 1 and 2. She's been on Venom as well, and a bunch of other. She has a big list, but she's been around the film industry for a while. She's also on board. We do have a former NBA basketball player.
Oh wow!
Larry Sanders, Milwaukee Buck. Mm-hmm. Got that guy on board, and so we still and our cast is still growing.
Oh yeah,
It's a really interesting cast, eclectic group of individuals here.
Yeah.
Composer, basketball player, a scream queen from the 80s. Yeah, it all works. That's interesting. So where are you guys going to film this? Because I thought Lisa was in Canada. I could be wrong.
She is in Canada, and that's probably where she's more known for as a scream queen. But she comes here all the time because she's actually from the Santa Monica area. So she goes back and forth between Toronto and Santa Monica all the time. And we actually worked with her on a short film back in May with Aric Roberts, right, Aric? And she came from Canada just to shoot that. So she kind of goes back and forth depending on what kind of project she's working on, if it's there or here.
What was that like working with Aric Roberts?
Super cool.
It's cool. We like him, yeah.
I loved it. I had a lot of fun. I worked with them on other films as well. We worked with them on Amityville.
Bigfoot.
Well, and of course on Dustin's film, we worked on them as well. So he's really a really nice guy. I got really close to him. So I had a lot of one-on-one time with him.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I've seen him pop up in a lot of stuff recently, and everyone always talks about how nice he is to work with, and he's friendly and everything. But you mentioned Amityville Bigfoot, and and I saw that Dustin's an Amityville Karen as a pool boy. So what do you make of the rise of these Amityville films?
I think people can never get enough of them. That's why they continue to use the actual name, and they can put it for whatever they want. But I think it's a big trend right now with Amityvilles. I mean, everybody wants to make them, and of course they're kind of bringing back 80 kind of slasher stuff mixed in with them, and I think they're pretty good. I mean, it's a good idea. I wouldn't knock it because as long as it doesn't compare to the original one, of course, but they could just continue doing spin-offs on them all the time you want. Yeah. All different kind of topics.
Yeah, it's fun to see how Amityville Karen, Amityville in space, I think has a great postcard. I haven't seen it, but it looks. I have fun with the titles.
There's Amityville in the Hood, which I've never seen that one. I think Dustin Ferguson actually made that one.
Yes, another former guest on the show.
Yeah, he's a decent one too. But there's a lot of those Amityville movies out there.
Yeah. Oh, so do you know Dustin? Do you work with
Dustin
him?
Ferguson? Yeah, I know Dustin Ferguson.
Oh, very good. Yeah, and he's starting his own production company or something. I saw in LA. He's trying to, anyways. It did help out other independent filmmakers, which is very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Who are some of the people that's been like influential or helpful to you? When you guys decided to start making stuff, who were some of the people, like, I don't know, maybe Dustin, that's been like helpful, giving you advice?
Do you want to go, Arc, or do you want me?
Oh, go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. I found just different people that I know that's in the industry that kind of has like guided me and motivated me and pushed me to this limit already. And I think with that, it's actually helped carry me to help like on this film particularly and other stuff I'm working on. I think it's just I think every kind of guidance and anything from people that have been in the industry for a long time can always help your career. It can help a film. It can help where you're going with what you need, that kind of stuff. And I think some of those people are like he mentioned, like Sophia Luco, who I've known for like over 10 years now. Lisa, I've known her for about 10 years. People like like Ryder Strong from Boy Meets World, from Dig Cabin Fever, the original one. Like a lot of different people gave me like a lot of good advice over my career since going to college and all the way till now.
Did you go to film school?
I went to film school, yes.
Because a lot of people I talked to in the independent world didn't. But so, how do you think that helped you? Because I talked to a lot of people who didn't go to film school, and they say being on sets helped them. But what would you, for someone who wants to become a filmmaker, like what kind of advice would you give them? Would you tell them definitely go to film school?
Well, film school does help because, I mean, it depends on where you go to school. They teach more theory or hands-on. I kind of got a little bit of both. And I got to actually work on the CBS Studio Center a lot. I got to do a lot of projects there, got to do a lot of different things when I was in film school and learn a lot of different things I never thought before that it was always just helpful to me for this day, especially working on this project. It's a lot of information based and hands-on experience that you get from not just professors, but working on multiple projects, senior thesis projects, all these kind of things just kind of come in play and they prepare you for what you could do after you get out of school. What a lot of people do is either they give up, one, or two, they just can't find work. Three, they end up getting a job and not doing what they really wanted to do after they got out from school for what they went to film school for. But really, it's like you almost have to have connections, network, and just keep branding and building yourself as a filmmaker and meeting people, networking, and just growing. I mean, you got to push yourself all the way. Otherwise, how far you get very far. You got to go far as you can, and don't stop. Don't let people like tell you you're not good enough or what you're doing is wrong, because you're always going to be learning something new each and every day for the rest of your life. So
I saw both of you guys are also in Abaddon.
Yes.
So
yes, we originally wrote that that was our intention when we first started writing it, or when Aric first started writing it. We were like, oh, we kind of wanted to play. He's like, you'd be perfect for the gas station guy. I was like, okay, perfect. And then he wanted to play the other kind of role that he wrote for himself. So
yeah, one of the questions you asked, where is it going to get filmed? For at the moment, we're thinking about California, but it could very well go to Arizona or New Mexico because of
the setting, probably.
Yeah.
And there's probably less people out there than in LA or California.
100%.
Yeah,
100% on that.
Easier to get a location without people bothering you.
But we do got great locations already in mind. We definitely do, but that's up to
California is a big place. I'm thinking LA, and there's a lot of people in LA, but California is spread out, so I'm sure there's places you could go that are a little more suited.
Another question. Let's see. You know who influenced me a little bit growing up? I would say it was Tom Cruise.
Oh, really? That's a good one, huh?
Tom Cruise influenced me growing up, but really on hands, believe it or not, it wasn't even family. It was my friends, Dustin, my employees, Jackie Suri. She's what do you call it? A producer for Cabin Fever. For Cabin Fever, she did. She influenced me a lot. Even Alan Howarth influenced me a lot about don't let nobody stop me from writing and doing this and that and believe in my script.
Yes.
So those people, my closest network right now are actually the ones that have me the most impact in any of my writing, to be honest with you. And some of the writing that I actually like to do and I enjoy to do is more of like some of the shows like the Horror Story or Twilight Zone. I grew up watching Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, Tales of the Crypt, Goosebumps. So that's the type of writing that I'm trying to do now as well. And I enjoy it. That's actually the writing I've actually always been doing. And like I said, the feature film that I did now is actually the first time I wrote something at that caliber. But those are some of the shows that influenced me a lot to write.
And there's not a lot of shows like that anymore, like anthology TV, where each episode's a standalone episode. Most shows, it's one large story arc. But I guess the new American Horror Stories is anthology. But for the most part, everything's one big long story arc, where you can't just like you can go back and pick an episode of Twilight Zone, but you can't like watch season 4, episode 3 of Breaking Bad if you've never watched it before. You'd be like, I don't have no idea what's going on.
Definitely.
Which I saw you guys did, or Dustin did. I'm not sure if you were involved too. Tales of Heebie Jeebies, which has an excellent name.
Yes.
Thank you. I thought of that name.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did thought of that name.
I'm a big fan of the name.
That's the name I thought of, and I read it by Dustin. I go, do you like it? He's like, well, what about this? And I kind of like stuck it. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it works because it makes you think of the old school shows, and then Heebie Jeebies is I don't know. It's a charming name, I think.
It's also a book too out there.
But, it is. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's an actual book, but it's not the same as the book. know.
Yeah, so that's going to be a web series. I'm actually currently finishing up the 5th episode right now.
Oh, cool. So, what are the plans for that? Is it going to be like on YouTube or doing it?
Honestly, I would love to pitch it to Netflix.
Yeah.
And or Tubi TV, something, streaming it that way.
That's a good thing about. I've been told by the creators that series is a really good thing with all the streaming sites because they all need a lot of content.
Yes.
And, a series is just more content than a film or a short film.
That's true. Yeah, that's what the plan is, to get it on one of those platforms and see what happens with it.
Yeah, well, I've been very excited. And is that like we're talking about the anthology where each one's it's a standalone episode, or is it a long form story?
It's each episode is different.
Yeah,
it's not the same episode.
Well,
every episode is a different story, basically.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm very interested in that. I love the idea, and I love the name. Yeah. I assume it's horror shorts. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. You already know.
Do you have any poster art for it yet? Because I like the Abaddon poster.
It's being made currently.
All right. Well, you have to keep me informed. I'm interested.
Yes.
Absolutely. By the way, who did the Abaddon poster?
That'd be my friend Gaz Jackson.
It's very cool.
He's based out of the UK.
Very nice. It's cool nowadays with the internet. You can work with people, in England and Canada, and they collaborate all over the world. So you mentioned, trying to get Heebie-Jeebies on a platform. So it's probably too early yet, but what would be the plans when Abaddon's finished? Like festivals or, what would you want to do with it?
I think the major plan for that one would be to get into the worldwide theaters. It's theaters everywhere. Because, it would be made for theaters. And then I would say the platforms and Blu-rays and DVD and 4K and that kind of thing. But that we really want to be going to theaters. That's the whole idea for this.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this though, but the script has actually won 4 awards currently.
Oh, really? That's very cool.
So we won the accolade in La Jolla. We won which one else? They were like Paris.
Hollywood Blood Horror Film Festival, which is based in LA. And we won the what's the other one called?
Thrills and Chills.
Thrills and Chills.
Oh, very cool. Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. And that helps get a buzz. And like I was recently at some of the festivals, you know, sometimes they do play at a festival and then get a theatrical run. So, you know, like I saw Barbarian at a festival before it had the theater.
Speaking of festivals, I would say once it's made, whether before it gets released or in the middle of it being released, I would say maybe Toronto, Venice, or you know, some of the bigger ones like that, like Sundance. But that's only like big top ones that, you know, most of those come out in theaters. They go to the festivals like that. I believe like The Whale was shown at Venice, and it doesn't come out in theaters until December. So. I mean, we're thinking of something like that, but that's not going to go full blast in festivals.
Right. So. Yeah, because like I mentioned Barbarian, which is that played at Fright Fest in London, but you know, like that's one of the major, you know, horror festivals.
Yeah.
Did the theatrical run. I'll be in LA in a few weeks, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm looking
forward. Will you? When are you coming down?
I think I fly out the 14th, so I'll be there from the 15th to the 20th.
Oh, maybe I can meet you here. Cool.
Yep, I'll be there. I'll be staying right off Hollywood Boulevard for 5 days or so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Would you like to see one of the trophies?
What was that? No, the trophies. Yeah. Do you have them there?
Yes, I do. I'm going to have one of my guys bring the trophy.
All right. Aric has guys that just carries his trophies around for him. Yeah. Oh, very cool. Oh, that one's awesome with the hand.
Yes. You can
that one's sweet.
Go back. Go.
Yeah, I think kind of probably put it in front of you. Yeah. Then I think you block out the thing. Yeah. Very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's a Hollywood. Yep.
Yeah. Hollywood.
Hollywood Blood Horror Film Festival.
Very cool. Hopefully you let Dustin see it every once in a while. I know you're the writer, so you got the trophy. But hopefully Dustin, he will once in a while.
He will. I have no doubts. He currently has plans right now with and another film Silver called Silver Fox, and we worked on it together. I just all I did was help out, but it's an assistant director, you know, but. He did all the work, and his VP did all the work, and of course, Eric Roberts and Lisa. Yeah. They made it come to life as well, and it was a great. It was a good learning experience for me there.
Do you guys both enjoy acting? Oh, we do.
Yes, actually, I went to I actually went to acting school when I was very young. I went to Beverly Hills Studios when I was a kid, and my parents paid thousands of dollars in the 1990, 88, 89 for, you know, and $1,000, $2,000-$3,000 back then is a lot of money during those times. And my parents paid for my schooling. I learned improv and all that, card reading. And yeah, so I had belonged to New Age casting and Premiere casting, which I don't think they even exist anymore. But I had fun with it. But then I joined the military right out of high school.
Yeah. And Dustin, you enjoy acting?
Oh yeah, I love acting. I think I love directing more, but I do love acting too. Yeah. I mean, acting was my first passion. Like I would say in 2004 is when I first got started in acting. That was right before I went to film school, though.
Aric, how do you use your military background? Does that affect your writing? Do you think? Like, did you put any of that, you know, and stuff?
Honestly, I don't think it affects it at all. I think actually it makes me. It helps you with PTSD, if anything.
Oh,
you know?
Interesting.
Yeah, you write your thoughts, right? You know, they tell you write a diary. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's good to have an outlet. Yeah, for some instead of just on your head.
Yeah, exactly. I've written so many things, and I started getting more into writing now because now I actually have more of the time. I'm not actually being a soldier no more. I'm running around in a uniform. But more importantly, I'm starting to forget a lot of names, or even places I've been, or even friendships. I remember everybody's face and conversations, but names I'm forgetting, and little things like that. And so before I get any older, or I might suffer another concussion, I'm trying to write people's names at places I've been, and other things. So so I got a bunch of little stories, all in 5 pages here, 10 pages there, 2 pages, 2 paragraphs. Just a bunch of things that I've written, and it's basically my whole career path, going to Japan, overseas, or Australia, or even a love life girlfriend that I might have met, which I did, and things like that. But I love writing. I think it's helped me a lot to my military career.
Oh, well, that's I do. You guys probably don't know, but I also do a pro wrestling podcast, and I'm not comparing the two things, but that comes up a lot. CTE and concussions in wrestling and memory loss and things. So how many concussions do you know that you've received?
5.
Oh wow, that's a lot. Yeah.
4 of them, 4 or 5 were military related. I had more, but on record, I have 5. I've also had no surgery, broken finger. I got arthritis. I don't want to give you my whole, medical record. I do got my fair amount of injuries.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that the writing though, helps, like you said, get an outlet, be not only creative, but helps with you personally.
Yeah, it definitely. Unfortunately, there's a lot of suicides, well, everywhere, but in the military, definitely, there's definitely a lot of suicides. And, so I try to talk to every vet I run into, and we automatically create our own bond. And especially those Vietnam vets that are left, our generation tries to cater them more just because of what they went through. As far you see, out here in these times, I have most, if not everybody's support in the civilian world, where a lot of Vietnam veterans, they didn't have any of that support. So we cater a lot to them. We try to, take care of them, or, even have conversations, make them feel welcome, So that's how we do things.
Well, I'm looking forward to Tales of Heebie of the Heebie-Jeebies. I love the title, and I'm also looking forward to Abaddon, King of the Locusts. So where can people follow you guys to see, more, when things are starting to come out?
I said, go ahead, you can say them all.
Well, we do have an IMDb page for it, for Tales of the Heebie-Jeebies and the Abaddon, the King of Locusts. We also have an Instagram page for Abaddon and the King of Locusts. And we also have a Facebook fan page and a Twitter and a TikTok. So
TikTok. I just recently got on TikTok. I'm too old for TikTok, but I don't know. Get a lot of views on there. So, yeah.
I'm definitely too old. I'm still learning how to use it. I do have.
I'm no expert by any means, and I don't really watch anything on there. But I post some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just created a Twitter 5 days ago.
Oh, all right.
And so me and my 4 or 5 followers. But I do got an IG. It's Garcia _ Aric, ARIC. That is it is private, but please just request me. I follow you back. I do whatever I need to.
All right, very cool.
But I am trying to get active on the Twitter. We do got Abaddon does have its own emails, but as long as there's own IG and all that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Twitter and everything, but in the modern age, you really have to be out there on all the social media if you have any type of project and want people, to be interested. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it's been very cool, and we'll do it again sometime when the stuff's coming out.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
Nice
meeting both of you. Yeah, you too.
Bye.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.